A few days ago, a spiritual friend reminded me, you are not your temptations. I was sharing some of the things I struggle with and failures, and this person just so confidently reminded me that our temptations don't define who we are. And that's the problem when we try to affirm people in their unregenerate state. If we tell people, oh, you're fine just the way you are, or you know, the way you are now is the way God created you to be. And that's not true. Apart from Christ, we are not fine, and we are not the way that God created us to be. And so if we affirm people in their sin and we say, oh, well, God made you this way. If you were made greedy, that's just how God created you to be. If you were created lustful, that's just how God created you to be. If you were created with a desire for fornication or homosexuality, that's just how God created you to be. No, those are lies. And if we tell people that, we actually hurt them. What we need to remind ourselves is our temptations don't define who we are. That's not who God made us to be. We're slaves to sin before we come to know Christ. But when we die with Christ, when we accept Jesus, the Bible says that we're buried with him in baptism and we're raised to walk in newness of life. So we die with Christ and we die to that old man, that old self. And that's no longer who we are. We're a new creature. We're no longer that old person that we were before we knew Christ. And it's that regenerated person that has a constant connection to God, that God accepts and that God is pleased with, so much so that Paul says that we become the fragrance of Christ to God.